Hello again. In this video I'll show you everything you need to know about using the rail system between Cadiz and San Fernando in Spain. You'll learn what the best ticket options are, the route map, and the two different types of rail transport you can get, and I'll give you some top tips along the way and highlight things that you need to look out for as well. We're heading along to start off from Cadiz station. You'll notice here that the old station building is being redeveloped at the moment, and the new building is a short walk from the port and city centre. Before we look at the route map, you'll need to know that there are two options and they go slightly different directions in San Fernando. First, there's the commuter trains on Route C1, which look like this, and then there's the trams on Route T1, which look like this. Both of these two leave from Cadiz railway station. So with that in mind, let's look at the route map. Here's Cadiz main train station. It's a terminus station, so all trains go the same route southwards. In the city there's 4 stops: San Severiano, Segunda Aguada, Estadio and Cortadura. By the way, Cortadura is a great station to get off at to go to the beach of Cortadura, which is a beautiful beach and it's much quieter than the more popular Victoria beach a little further north. And I'll tell you how much it is to get here by rail when we get to the tickets section. Anyway, after Cortadura it's a long stretch with no stations until you get to Rio Arillo. This station is in the middle of nowhere really, but it's important because it's where the C1 and T1 lines split. The C1 commuter line goes this way with 2 stops in San Fernando, South Bay and Central. It then continues around to Puerto Real before continuing right the way to Jerez de la Frontera. The tram route T1 goes through the centre of San Fernando with multiple street stops before continuing on south to Chiclana de la Frontera. So where you're going in San Fernando determines which line to take, but that said, there's not much walking distance between the red and green lines on this map, so it kinda doesn't matter too much. By the way, this map is available to download for free from my Facebook page. I'll leave a link to it in the video description. So now we know the route, what about frequency? Well, from Cadiz railway station there's a commuter train leaving every hour and there's also a tram leaving every hour, but they're staggered, so usually it's every half an hour. You can either go by commuter train or tram, depending on which is more suitable at the time. And like I said, there's no difference until you get to Rio Arillo. So let's talk about tickets, and you're about to enter a world of confusion and complication here. So if you ask something like, ChatGPT, it'll tell you either to buy single tickets or a 10 journey ticket. Now you can do that, but what ChatGPT won't tell you that this is probably not the best option and certainly not the cheapest. This green card is what I'd recommend. It's a reloadable card where each journey is taken from the balance and it works out cheaper. So take, for example, if you want to go from Cadiz to Cortadura, then this would cost around €1.80 if you bought a single ticket, but around 80 cents using the green card. So more than half price. And you can use a single card for a group of people too, and I'll show you that in a moment. But how do you get this card? You'll find that there's no ticket machines in the main area here, which is kind of weird. I'll show you where they are in a moment, but I don't believe you can buy this card from a machine anyway, so head inside the ticket office by the entrance. When you do, you head on over to this purple machine where you select when you're going to travel, and it'll spit out a numbered ticket for the queuing system. And then you wait and wait and wait until your number is called and it's your turn. The wait was annoying, but the staff are really great here. And we bought the card for €1.50 and loaded it with some credit. Now we can use it to get through the barriers. I'll come back to these in a moment, because what if you want to reload this card at Cadiz station? Well, there are ticket machines, they're just in an odd place. Here's the station entrance where we went through earlier. Here's the ticket office where we just were, and outside here around the corner are 2 containers full of ticket machines. Maybe this is a temporary thing, but it's really easy to miss. And of course you want to use the machines near the sign that says Cercanías, which translates to surrounding in English, but basically local commuter services. So with these machines you can check your card balance and top up if needed. You might be thinking this is all a right faff, and you'd be right. So you might be tempted to use the Renfe Cercanías app, right? Well, this is also a right faff to use because it covers all regions in Spain, not just the Cadiz area, and it actually costs more than the green card. By the way, when you sign up and it shows you this screen asking for a code it's sent to your mobile, it's actually emailed to you, not SMS. I didn't find this useful at all, so I opted to just go with the green card. Right, that's the ticket kiosk completed. Let's head to the barriers. And yes, there are platforms here without barriers, but these have trains you don't want to get on board. If it looks like this, then it's a mid-distance train and it'll be going to places like Seville. If it looks like this, then it's a long-distance train going to places like Madrid, and both of these trains your ticket is not valid on. So head to the barriers, tap your card on the red circle and head on through. Remember, if you're using this card for a group, each person has to tap the same card to get through the barriers. So once you're through, you'll be taking one of these commuter trains, or as we're doing today, taking the tram. Here's what it looks like on board the tram. Definitely set up for city operations, and there are no toilets on board the tram. By contrast, here's what the commuter train interior looks like, and it does have a toilet. Anyway, let's relax for a bit as we pull out of Cadiz station, and it's only a short distance before we're pulling into the first station, San Severiano. From here it's a tunnel under the city through to Cortadura, and then we're heading south quite quickly to Rio Arillo. Let me just mention about one other complication. Yep, there's another one. Remember we saw there were two lines, C1 and T1. Well, if you're on the C1 line, then when you get off, there's a barrier that you need to tap out of. So let's jump to the C1 line, and remember the trains look like this, and we'll get off at San Fernando South Bay. At these stations, there are barriers where you tap your green card to close the journey, and your balance will be displayed on the barrier screen. Remember to tap out for every person in your group travelling on this card. It's a bit different if you're on the T1 line travelling on a tram like this. This is because after Rio Arillo, there are tram stops instead of stations, and there are no barriers. So for stops inside San Fernando, you need to tap your card on the side of the ticket machines at the tram stop. And you need to remember to do this every time you get on and off the tram. There is a ticket inspector on these trams who will check your ticket. Don't worry though, in my experience they were very friendly if you forgot, especially if you're a dumb tourist like me. They probably get this all the time. So that's it, a bit of a learning curve, but I think easy enough when you get used to it. Enjoy your time in the Cadiz area and thanks for watching. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them for you. Also, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And I'll see you on my next video, somewhere else in the world. See ya!